Hello and welcome to the garage on RidebuyPh. Ang sasakyan natin ngayon, cute no? It's one of the most affordable electric vehicles in the market today from a startup brand that is not Chinese, it's not Japanese, it's not American, it's not Korean, it's Vietnamese. It's a Vinfast, and this is the VF3, a micro compact SUV crossover that comes in at a very affordable price of only 745,000 pesos cash. Baka may discounting pa yan, we don't know. So for this car, of course, you get what you pay for. So siguro it's better to get the bad stuff out of the way first and then we move on to the good parts. Okay, the bad part is 745,000 only gets you a small battery around 18.6 kilowatt hours. So ang quoted range niya is around 200 kilometers. Pero in reality, di mo naman siguro sasagarin yan. Hindi gaya ng gasolina na 10 kilometers lang doon ka pa napapagas siguro, di ba? With an electric car, you want to leave a fair buffer about 20%. So realistically, you'll maybe get about 150 kilometers out of this small EV. Very small EV. Then, some other points. 2-door siya. In theory, it's a 4-door or a 5-door, but later I'll show you in reality, it's really just a 2-passenger car with space for your belongings. Kung pipilitin mo mga tao umupo sa likod, baka hindi na kayo magkaibigan pagkatapos. Now, the good part, it is a very compact car. Length niya is a little over 3 meters and the width is a little over 1.6 meters. So it's very, very compact. It's super easy to park. Konti na lang. Baka parang grocery cart na lang siya. Okay? So, for those who are intimidated by big vehicles or have very tight parking spaces, okay siya. Then, ground clearance niya is suited for our shitty roads. For na madalas na baha, ground clearance, if I'm not mistaken, is about 175 millimeters. It's not an SUV, pero okay siya sa mga lubak and all of that. If you notice these wheels, these are steel wheels. I don't remember the last time I saw steel wheels except when I checked my car kung nandun pa yung spare tire ko. Alright? But, okay yan. Steel wheels are very durable and they're cheap. And you can easily upgrade it. Yung spec na, yung original equipment spec nito, 175, 75, R16, Silun at Treso. Okay yung Silun pare. Yung si EJ, paborito niya yung Silun nung kumakarer, nagta-track day siya kasi mura lang, tapos makapit naman, and again, mura lang. So, if you notice, it's not an SUV, but it has some SUV-like features. This body cladding, these fender flares, is basically clear, basically unpainted plastic. So, okay lang yan magasgas to protect the body and all of that. The body itself, basically sheet metal na parang, I don't know, parang little text na naging totoong kotse. I like it actually. Then this urban mint, it looks medyo camouflage and it goes well with my shoes. Putik na nga ako mag-green din na shirt, kaya lang baka sobrang camouflage na. Going on to the back. Okay, so you have a little bit of bling here with the chrome garnish matching the Vinfast emblem here. So, let's see gaano siya kaluwag. So, wow. So the quoted volume is around 245 liters, if I'm not mistaken, and that is with the seats down. With the seats up, might as well be 0. Let me show you. So, with this space here, wala ka na malalagay siguro na bag dyan, belt bag siguro, thermos, sapatos, yung ano mo dyan, pero it's practically 0 already. So most of the time, you will keep this folded down, put your soft bags in. The space itself can probably fit 1 or 2 small to medium-sized suitcases, but nothing more. Golf bag, no. Not that a golfer would actually have something like this, right? But parang medyo iba naman na yata ang use case ng Vinfast VF3. So, moving on to the inside. Alright, very basic interior, which is okay lang sa akin because I'm a very basic guy. Okay, lots of molded plastic here. And if you look closely at the grain, yung parang yung mga ukit-ukit dyan na medyo parang feeling 80s, 90s dashboard. Although, May mga layers siya here for the panels, different panels that make up the dashboard. So it's not really functional kasi naka-angle siya pababa. So hindi mo talaga malalagay dyan cellphone mo kasi konting lubak lang mahuhulog yan. Sana ginawa nilang pataas so nasasalo niya yung mga maliit mo mga items. Okay, start it up. Okay, here there's a lot of built-in safety features so the car will not start unless the key fob, hindi siya keyless, okay, is here. May reset siya dito. You have to step on the brake and you have to make sure that the seat belt is securely fastened. The tray tables are stowed. No, just kidding. After that, then you can turn on the aircon. And malakas yung aircon niya. It's a manual aircon. Don't expect automatic aircon at this price point, of course. And of course, it's single zone, hindi siya dual zone. It's actually malamig siya. I like it. I'm a fan of manual aircon control. So very obviously, you know what these do. Steering wheel, 2-spoke. Kind of weird. It's a 2-spoke na it's not adjustable. Yeah, it's not adjustable it's not tilt telescopic. And this here, yung V, naalala ko actually yung Alien na if naalala mo yung TV series na yun, ng batang 80s na yung V. Parang ganun eh, parang manibela siya ng spaceship ng aliens. I don't know. So, buttons for your power windows here sa gitna. And stereo, door lock. Adjust natin yung bintana. I mean yung mirrors. Saan yung mirrors? Manual. Wow.
It's cool.
Okay. Pawis adjustable mirrors. Okay, yeah, cute. By the way, the seat is actually not bad. If you're on the small to medium size adult, it's okay. Pero kung siguro mga XL size ka, medyo masisigipan ka talaga sa upuan na to. It's a bit cushy. I'm a little bit wary of that kasi over time palambot ng palambot yung foam so it will make you sink in. Okay, let's see this touchscreen. 10-inch infotainment screen. There's no instrument cluster. Okay, hanapin natin ha. Media. Oh, nice. Okay, batang 90s na music. You only get 2 speakers so sound quality is just blah. You wanna upgrade that if you are into your sounds. Very basic screen but easy to navigate. So, punta tayo dito. You can go to your EV settings to see how much you want to charge. Mga natin battery. Does it have, okay, meron siyang eco, merong normal driving mode, merong creep mode, merong wala. Tow mode is pag kailangan mong ipato. Kunyari, naubusan ka talaga ng charge kasi engot ka. And then kailangan mong pato na lang. Okay, vehicle and drive, what does this do? Ano? Camera. Oh shit, wala siyang camera. Wala siyang camera, pero may backup, I think. Yeah, may sonar naman siguro. Overspeed warning. Why would I need an overspeed warning? It's not gonna go more than 100 kilometers per hour, maybe. Anti-theft, okay, that's good. Speed-sensitive door lock, okay. Auto-unlock, okay. GPL, okay. Speedometer, okay. So if you can see here, I've traveled 17.3 kilometers so far. It's consumed 10.8 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers. That's the estimate. So medyo true siya dun sa estimate of mga 200 kilometers total range. So now I'm at 70.3 kilometers. I've got maybe about 130 kilometers left before I should think about charging this car. Okay, by the way, let's see how roomy or not roomy the back seat is. First, I need to fold this. And then wala siyang quick release for the seat to quickly slide forward. I have to pull here para na mabuksan siya. So ingress is actually not that bad. Okay, pero paano kung may adult already in the seat in front? How roomy can it be? Okay. With a 5'8", 5'9" adult sitting in the driver's seat, kunyari lang, and a similar size adult here, there is no legroom. I'm really scrunched up and konti na lang makikipag-away na ako dun sa nasa harapan. This is like parang ka nasa Cebu Pacific actually. Alright. So actually, pero kung nandito sa gitna, wala namang ibang katabi, I just sit here, legs splayed wide apart like a boss. Okay lang. But of course, after a while, since you can't really stretch your legs, mangangawit ka talaga. So this is just a temporary seating arrangement, and I wouldn't wish it on anybody for long trips, which is not really possible because you have such limited range anyway. So what is this car for? Who is this car meant for? Now let's go for a drive. Okay. So ngayon, lalabas tayo sa likuran ng VF3. Oh, wala palang quick release. Okay. Woo! Di na ako bata. Ay, likod ko. Okay. So, and that is why you should always practice flexibility. Maganda mag-yoga. Alright, now let's go for a drive. So actually, yung motor nito maliit lang eh. Like total power is like 40 horsepower, but torque is 110 Newton meters. And there's one mechanical feature that I really like. You know what that is? It's rear-wheel drive. Okay, so now that we're moving in here in Alabang, the big question to ask is, who is the Vinfast VF3 for? So it has limited range, about less than 200 kilometers in real life, very compact dimensions, but very affordable. So the quick and easy answer is that it is for people who obviously just need a small car as an urban runabout. So maybe this won't be your primary car, so maybe it's your second car or your third car if you have enough space in your garage for that. Or if it is your first car, I guess it is a good entry-level car to get you started in the world of driving because it's very easy to drive. The steering is light, and because it's rear-wheel drive, once you start turning into corners, hindi siya front-heavy like most front-wheel drive cars. Rear-wheel drive, so the weight distribution is evenly balanced out. And one thing I especially like about this, even though it has a basic front strut and rear torsion beam suspension, okay yung suspension quality niya. It's actually firm, and yung rebound quality niya, hindi siya yung pagkatapos ng lubak is still umuuga pa rin. Still, you hit a bump, it gets one motion and it's done. It feels actually kind of European. So, body roll in corners is moderate. It's no big deal. And I guess the ride quality is also down to mataas kasi yung sidewalls. It's like 75 series. So you've got a lot of cushion to work with. So that's a good thing. Of course, you don't get a lot of grip. I mean, at the limits of adhesion for this car, medyo mababa yan. So probably, what do you expect? Then, in terms of acceleration, actually, it's pretty good for just, stoplight drag. 0 to 50 kilometers per hour niya is around 5 seconds. So they didn't bother to go 0 to 100 because it's probably going to take a while. But in real world terms, 0 to 50 is a useful metric kasi nga yun yung mga stoplight, yung kalambot merge. So it has pep to keep you going with the usual flow of traffic. Although, of course, on the top end, maybe you get 100, 110 kilometers per hour before talagang sagad na yung makina. Because, of course, it's electric, so it's only a single-speed transmission. 40 horsepower is actually enough to get you moving around the city, and hindi siya takaw sa kuryente. Now, there are some pet peeves with this car that I kind of find that medyo strange lang. Like the turn signal chirp. It kind of feels plastic. It sounds plasticky. So I mean, they could have just gone with a more soothing chime, I guess. And then, the seat quality is just average. They could have really gone for a more upscale seat here, kasi the bolsters are just for show. The hip bolster here, it's too soft to really support you. So, after a while, you kind of sink into the seat, so it's not as supportive as it could be, and mapapagod ka on longer drives. Visibility, on the other hand, is actually pretty good. Because you've got these big windows, big windshield, so it's easy to place the car exactly where you want it. Steering feel is pretty good too. And also the brake feel feels normal. There's probably regen braking, it doesn't say. Pero when you get off the gas, yeah, there's hindi malakas yung on-off feel of a normal EV. So it feels like a normal car in that sense. So we're here waiting for the green light. So you can hear the chirp. It's a little bit grating in the ears. You know, I don't know why it has to be that way. And while you're sitting here in traffic, you kind of notice some of the details where they really tried to cut costs. The quality of the headliner is what we call mouse fur back in the day. There's really a lot of shiny plastic here. So, does it feel upscale? Obviously not. Does it feel cheap? Not really, but it does feel budget. I mean, let's be honest here. If this is your first car, great, but this will not be your last. But, you know, just driving around in circles here in Alabang, it's not a bad car to be in, actually. Like I said, the ride quality is pretty good. The steering's great. You get some road rumble through the floor because I guess there's just a minimum of amount of NVH materials, but it feels honest. Feels like a go-kart, actually, with air conditioning. So that's a good thing. And it's a very point and shoot kind of car, which is good if you like that kind of thing in a runabout. And medyo involving siya, even though everything's automatic, obviously, and you get the basic minimum of creature comforts. So, to wrap it up, you know, if you just need a grocery getter, you need something to go to the mall with, you need something panundo ng mga anak from school na malapit lang naman, it's actually a good car to consider for just how much it costs, di ba? I mean, in this price point, ano ba yung mga matitingin mo pa? Nandun yung Jetour ice cream, which is even smaller. And then you get the BYD Seagull, which is more posh, you can call it that, but it's more expensive. I think it's like 900,000, something like that. Then you get the Jack Etterby, which is around the 1 million mark, mas mahal pa. And then, kung ayaw mo naman ng electric, so magagas ka, ano yung mga options mo? Around 700,000. Suzuki Celerio, Suzuki, what's that small one? Espresso, na parang lata. So, you know, you have to really curb your expectations with this kind of car at this price point. All right, I'll be honest with you. When I first received this car, I wasn't that excited to see it because, you know, it's a very small car and obviously everything is built to a tight budget. Pero the more I'm using it right now, I'm okay with it. Kasi ano ba naman ang in-expect mo from a commuter car, diba? You need it to get from point A to point B quickly or in reasonable amount of time. You need it to have air conditioning. You need it to be reasonably quiet. Kasi, and then everything needs to be, you know, built reasonably well. Kasi otherwise, for this money, bumili ka na ng second hand, diba? Pero kung gusto mo talaga ng brand new and you want electric and you only have 745,000 or something like that, yun yung budget mo, the Vinfast VF3 is actually it's actually a rational choice. You mean, like, I wouldn't say it's your only choice, but it should be on your short list. And sa akin, ang plus sa kanya is yung styling niya. It's really adorable. And there are so many colors to choose from. So parang dun pa lang sa akin, medyo, I'm already 50% in the showroom already. So one of the things that baffled me about the VF3 was when I needed to take some shots of the engine bay to see what's under the hood, I couldn't find the usual lever release or latch to open the hood from the driver's footwell. Finally, I had to Google it and then I realized and I learned that wala pa talaga siyang release. The hood is held in place by 2 bolts here, so you have to manually do it. I dug up some tools and now let's see what the motor looks like. So I was wondering, why would VinFast design it to be in that way. I mean, people want to see what's under the hood. And then I realized maybe the engineers don't want you to mess around with the motor because you're probably not qualified to deal with an electric motor anyway. And the only reason you would want to do that with a normal car is to usually top up the fluids. With an electric car, the only fluid you will need to top up is the washer fluid. And you can do that without actually removing the hood. You just pull this little plastic panel here, and dyan mo lalagay yung washer fluid mo. So it's actually pretty thoughtful. But let's say you actually want to open the hood for whatever reason. So you need a 14mm wrench, and you make sure you got a torque wrench also, because it is spec'd that you have to fasten it to 10.9 Newton meters. Otherwise, it might fly off while you're driving, and that could be dangerous. So let's get to work. This is actually the first time in my life that I have to do this to open the hood. Very strange experience. Very tedious process, if you ask me. But one, let's go to the other one. And then you can finally see what's in there. Baka may mga pusa. Well, there's a plastic trim panel here, so you shouldn't worry too much about losing the bolt if you drop it. But I will just hang on to this. Now let us see. Ta-da! That's a lot of room to work with. Okay, so now that satisfies my curiosity about the engine bay. Okay, so this is the Vinfast VF3, one of the most affordable, if not the most affordable electric vehicles in the market today. But as they say, you get what you pay for, because it's a very small car with very basic features. So what do we think about it in terms of our ratings? For the first metric, performance. It has a small electric motor and a small battery, got about 40 horsepower, 110 Newton meters of torque, and about 18.6 kilowatt hours. That gives you around 200 kilometers theoretical range, but in reality, more like 150, 160. So it's got pep, but it's not a fast car. I'll give it a 6.5 out of 10. For styling, now this one is where VinFast knocked it out of the park, in my opinion. Unang tingin pa lang, it's so cute. It's like adorable. It's like a little dog, you know, and has a lot of cool colors. This urban mint green, it's very different. So for this one, I'll give it a 9.5 out of 10. How about handling? Handling is actually where this one really surprised me. It's very basic spec. Front struts, rear torsion beam, steel wheels, 75 series tires, Cylon. But it's rear-wheel drive. The weight distribution is very good, so it handles like a tall go-kart. And I love go-karts. So it's very shootable, very point-and-shoot kind of car. And road feel is actually very entertaining. Brake feel is actually also good, you know? So I'll give it 7.5 out of 10. How about utility? Here, I'm kind of torn about it because there's only so much space you can fit into such a small car, you know? So in terms of pangkarga, it's not that roomy, okay? So you have to really manage your expectations. Para kami malaking backpack lang na may gulong, basically. 245 liters of cargo volume, utility, I'll just give it a 7 out of 10. Value for money. So cost again, 745,000. You get basic features like power windows, central locking, pero hindi siya express up-down yung windows mo, manual aircon, wala siyang Apple CarPlay, wala siyang Android Auto, so it's just Bluetooth for your phone and all of that. But in terms of other features, yeah, it's just very basic. If you're a low maintenance kind of guy or girl, okay lang siya. But value for money, I have to give it an 8 out of 10. Now for the overall rating. Average performance, adorable styling, average utility, maybe even below average a bit. High fun to drive quotient, fantastic warranty. I have to give it an overall rating of 7.5 out of 10. So, if you're in the market for a very small electric vehicle and you want it very compact, very easy to drive, do check out the Vinfast VF3. Let us know what you think in the comments.